Croeso I Gwersi Gwirion Mr. Mock. Welcome to Mock's Mad Lessons. The focus of today's lesson is to look at the Unit 4 examination. And we want to look specifically at just the language aspects of the reading questions. Those parts of the question that come at the end of the reading that ask you to respond to the reading. These are easy marks to achieve as long as you follow a pattern. So hopefully by the end of this session, we can tell you and show you what that pattern is to ensure that you pick up as many marks as you can on these aspects. So, Bantani. Here is an example from the 2014 paper. Dyma'r question, question 2. Read these two diaries and then complete the tasks that follow in Welsh. So it's 16 marks for identifying the correct parts for another part of the question. And what I've highlighted here in this section is the part that gives you the extra 4 marks that we can find here. And they match here. Okay. So we've read through the diaries, we've responded to the reading, and then we're faced with this question. Write 2 sentences in Welsh saying what you do, which is the same or different from Kirsty and or Roberto. You must make it clear if you are referring to Kirsty or Roberto. So we need to make sure that we put the name of the person in. Here's the pattern you should follow. I have started off with 2 sentence starters. Rydw i'n debyg I am similar to. Rydw i'n gwahanol I am different to. So this shows us straight away that we are similar and different. I think it's okay for you to put 2 similars or 2 differences or any combination as you want, as long as you write the sentences accurately. So next, we need to make sure that we are referring to either Kirsty or Roberto. Okay, so let's put in Kirsty. Rydw i'n debyg I Kirsty. So we've got a good start, and all we need to do now is to add our reason why. So we're obviously going to use the connective word achos, and then try and pull something that we agree with or that we're similar to from the text. Now in selecting the reason, it's best to try and look for something that's easy to respond to. So I'm looking at dit nos fawrth. Dwi ddim yn edrych ymlaen at y wers chwaraeon yfory achos rydyn ni'n gwneud rhedeg trawsgwlad ac yn mynd ar hyd caeau gwlyb mwdlyd. Now, you can agree with her reasons, or you can just agree with the point that she's making. So to give a simple answer, I'm going to select what she says about y gwers chwaraeon. Okay, so I'm going to say that I disagree with it as well, or that I don't like it as well, to show that I am similar to her. So I'm just going to add that in. Felly dyma ni. Here we are. Rydw i'n debyg I Kirsty achos dydw I ddim yn hoffi chwaraeon a rhedeg. So you can see simply responding to a point that she makes is what you're trying to achieve, and keeping the sentence pattern as simple as possible. So let's have a look at another one. This time we're going to select something for Roberto. And in his paragraphs, he mentions things about my cyfrifiaduron yn yr ysgol yn araf iawn. So let's pick on that one, because that's a nice and simple sentence pattern. Here we go. My cyfrifiaduron yn yr ysgol yn araf iawn. So we're going to fit that into our pattern. Have a look. So in this example, rydw i'n gwahanol I Roberto achos mae cyfrifiaduron yr ysgol yn gyflym iawn. So obviously I needed to know what the opposite adjective is to be able to answer the question well. So these two answers should now give us the 4 marks for this question. So it's not about writing complicated sentences, but responding simply to either opinions or facts that you've picked up from the reading. And so selecting something simple from the text is the best way to achieve that. So let's recap. To achieve well and get the maximum marks for this part of the question, you need to look at these sentence patterns and you need to learn them. If you don't learn them, then you won't be able to use them. Rydw i'n debyg I, I am similar to, then we put the name in here. Achos, and then we put the reason in here. This should be based on something that you've picked up from the text. And then to say that we are different to, rydw i'n gwahanol I, again, the name will go in here and the reason will go in here. Keep it simple. That's the key. Okay. Ffwrdd ni i'r un nesaf. So again, this is the language part of the second reading, so question 3 of the paper on the higher. And this one is a little simpler in a way because we're asked to respond by agreeing or disagreeing with the points that Claire makes at the end of the project or the end of the text. You can check back at the paper to have a look of what that looks like. So, mae eisiau stopio actorion ysmygu mewn operau sebon fel Coronation Street achos mae llawer o bobl ifanc yn gwylio'r rhaglenni ac wedyn yn meddwl bod ysmygu'n cool. Mae eisiau stopio pobl ysmygu o flaen ysbytau, theatrau a sinemau achos mae nhw'n creu llawer o fwg a rhaid I bawb cerdded trwyddo fe. Hoffwn ni hefyd weld Llywodraeth Cymru yn codi pris paced 20 o sigarets I 20 punt, fyddai pobl ifanc wedyn ddim yn ei prynu. So we have to agree or disagree. So let's set up some simple sentence patterns that you should be familiar with. Rydw i'n cytuno gyda Claire am, and rydw i'n anghytuno gyda Claire am. I agree with Claire about, I disagree with Claire about. Now for the next part of the question, I need to be able to select what it is that I agree or disagree with, the actual points themselves. So this one, actorion yn ysmygu mewn operau sebon fel Coronation Street. In the next one, stopio pobl ysmygu o flaen ysbytau, theatrau a sinemau. And the last one, they codi pris paced o 20 o cigarettes. So those are the points. So I'm going to select one of those to put in. So here we are. We have selected the part of the sentence that we wanted. I do apologise because I should have taken you back to this stopio. So start from the verb is a good idea. So rydw i'n cytuno gyda Claire am stopio actorion ysmygu mewn operau sebon. Now all I need to do, like we did for the previous question, is give my reasons because I have to give my personal viewpoint and to give good reasons in a full sentence. So obviously the next word is going to be achos. Now I have added achos and I have tried to give a reason. Mae gwylio actorion yn ysmygu yn ddrwg I bobl ifanc. Sorry, just correcting my error there. Mae gwylio actorion yn ysmygu yn ddrwg I bobl ifanc. I've tried to keep the reason very, very simple, but relating it back to what I understand from her opinion. She uses the word pobl ifanc and then uses ysmygu yn cool. So mae gwylio actorion yn ysmygu yn ddrwg I bobl ifanc. So let's have a look at another example. This time I want to disagree with a point that Claire makes. So I'm going to pick the third point there about raising the price, codi pris packet. So let's follow the same pattern. I just select that part of the question and put it into my sentence pattern. Here we are then. Rydw i'n anghytuno gyda Claire am weld Llywodraeth Cymru yn codi pris packet o cigarettes. As you can see, I've repeated my earlier mistake as I needed to go back to the start here, to the verb. Okay, weld Llywodraeth Cymru. Because we know that hoffwn is a sentence pattern word and hefyd is a discourse marker, so we need to go from the weld Llywodraeth Cymru. It's a little bit tricky, that bit, but you can see a bit of a pattern developing in this question. Okay, so we need to add now our reason, and we were going to use achos as well, and then I need to think of why I disagree with Claire on this point. So I'm just going to say it won't stop young people smoking. Here we are then. Achos fydd y pris ddim yn stopio pobl ifanc ysmygu. The price will not stop young people smoking. So we can see here that it's really, really important that you learn some different tenses, and particularly the third person forms of those tenses to respond to this question. So again, you can see the pattern developing here. You can see how we put this answer together. So let's move on and consider the revision tips. So our revision point is that, again, we need to learn a sentence pattern and a structure to use. Rydw i'n cytuno gyda. Again, the name will go in here first. Am, the point, and then achos and the reason. And obviously it's exactly the same for the negative pattern. But it is important that you make the reasons sensible. And if you can pick up extra things from their opinions to respond to, then obviously that will make it easier. So I hope this has given you a good idea how to go about getting and maximizing these marks. Pob lwc arni. And if you're stuck, don't forget to check out the blog at cymraegmartinsant@wordpress.com. You can tweet any questions or ask for further examples, clarifications, using the hashtag St. Martin's Welsh. And of course, don't forget the revision hashtag. And you can see that here. Felly, diolch am wrando a phob lwc gyda'r arholiad.